Hello, YouTube. How's everybody doing? I hope your weekend's going well. I can honestly say mine's been actually pretty quiet, but going good. Today's Saturday, and on Saturdays, I like to give you guys updates on my socks. And I'm kind of looking at this pattern I'm going with. Start off with, I'm using the Peyton's Croy socks, I believe is how it's pronounced. It's just pretty neat green variegated color. I can honestly say my Michaels only had this in like 3 colors, maybe 4. And out of all of this one was the only one that really had any light colors in it. So I went with it. Now there is another sock yarn that's also on Michael's web page to order off of, and there's one that's like a burgundy color. I'm gonna get that was probably next. And then after that, I don't know really what I'm going to get for socks because they are getting kind of a little expensive. And when I'm paying like pretty much $10, $12 for these 2 skeins, 50 grams, that's an expensive pair of socks. And that only makes 1 pair for me. So with this yarn, it's a little thicker than my past socks that you guys have seen me make. I am still using the same setup for the knitting needles with the same cable. I like doing mine 2 at a time. And these ones I only did 64 stitches in total, where normally I do the 72 because it's a thinner yarn I normally use. And like I said, this yarn's a little thicker, so I went with the 64. I did my normal toe increase. And then I decided what I was going to do for the sock itself was going to, on the top of the foot, do a 2x2 rib. Then once the heel gets put in, I'm going to do a 2x2 rib all the way around the sock. Now I started mine with a knit, like the front top part of my foot. Start it with a knit and end it with a knit. That way I'm going from a knit on the back to a knit on the front. And I find it's not leaving nearly as much gap here on the sides. So I'm kind of liking that a little better. Now the stitch marker, the sock with the stitch marker, it is striped in the toe section, but I will admit it is hard to see. Now I do plan on, when these are pretty much done or are done, whichever happens first, I guess you could say, I'm going to try and take a picture of them at my camper so they're under the natural sunlight and maybe you guys can see the striping better. I know the one without the stitch marker, you can definitely see the stripe better in the toe of it. So here's how they look. I do apologize about my lighting. It's not the best. But, and then hopefully you guys can see the 2x2 rib. I've only done 5 rounds so far, so it's still pretty frequently new. And if anything, it'd probably be this sock here. You can see it the best on. So again, here, there's the rib. Now the striping changes pretty frequently. And like I said, had I gone with more stitches, it would have changed even sooner. They fit nice. There is a little bit of wool in these. You can definitely feel the wool content, but it doesn't bother my feet much. Give me a moment. I'll try to check this out and see how much wool. It is 25% wool. So it's not a whole lot. It is a little scratchy, but for me, I don't have a wool allergy, so, and that's why I'll never make socks for other people or socks to sell, because you never know if they got a wool allergy. So that's my sock update. I'm liking them so far, but again, I'm not very far into them. Now I have determined I'm going to do the same style of heel, but a little different. And what I'm going to do that is, well, it's a little thicker yarn. I'm definitely going to be trying my socks on more frequently while I'm doing the heel. And I do know with the last pair I made, the ones that were the stripes with the black, purple, blue, and green, and a little bit of pink throughout. Because they say for your heel, divide your stitches as evenly as possible. So you have 3 sections. If you want to divide it into thirds, because the middle section, the way I do my heels, you don't work it. I found with my last pair, I should have maybe not done as many decreases and increases on the side, like maybe taking 2 off of each side, because I found the heel was too deep, I guess would be a way to put it. So the heel's loose on my heel, and I don't like it. Same with this, like normally I do 50 rows or rounds, sorry, of the foot part before I start the heel. At the moment I've got marked on my notes 40, and I will definitely be trying them on at 40 and seeing roughly how many more I think I need to make, because again, like I said, it is a thicker yarn, so these are new to me. And the stitching pattern I'm doing is different, so we know that sometimes will affect the way it fits. But yeah, I'm thinking because it's 32 stitches, I could either divide the heel 10, 12, 10, or 11, 10, 11. I'm thinking of actually going 8, 16, 8. I know it's not even, but it'll make the heel less deep, and I think it will wrap around my heel much better. So we'll have to wait and see how those fit. It's an experiment, I know. But yep, that's my sock. And oh, I didn't know if I showed you guys the back or not. So here's the back. Like I said, you see I'm doing the 2 at a time. My preferred method. I definitely am very glad I finally jumped on the sock wagon, because I've been wanting to do socks for years and years and years. I can honestly admit the first pair I made that were knitted was pre-COVID. I do know that much, because my mother was still had a trailer up where ours is, and she was there while I was working on them, and I was proud of them. Now they were cuffed down. Now I wasn't. The heel was fine to do. It was the heel flap and gusset and whatever. I just don't like the way it feels. Foot. So, uh-oh. Okay. My video paused there for a moment. So I don't know if it mucked up on you guys. So anyways, I did the heel flap and gusset. And on my foot, I didn't like the way it felt. Now, mind you, I was just using whatever yarn I pulled out of my stash. I think I've worn those socks twice. A, because I don't really like the way the heel feels. And B, I don't really want to wear those socks out too much, because I am proud of them. They turned out really nice. But this new heel, it's almost like a German short row type heel. But I do know this one is done slightly different than a German short shirt. Yeah. Okay. I know the ones I do are slightly different than the German short row heel. So anyways, guys, that's my socks. Haven't gotten very far in them. I'll move my stitch marker so you guys can see the progress come next week. I'll be home next. Actually, next week I'm not sure if I'm going to be home or not. Hubby's got an event in Niagara Falls, and I'm still up on arms if I'm going to go or not. So anyways, that's my socks. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see and you'd love to see the outcome of these socks or any other projects I make, please consider hitting that subscribe button, turning on their notifications. I am mainly a yarn channel. I crochet and I knit. I have done a little bit of loom work in the past, and I do hope someday to get back doing it. As you guys heard me mention earlier in the video, I go camping. Husband and I own a small property, and we have a camper on it, and believe me, we get out of the city as much as we can. And I'm gardening on my balcony for the first time ever for produce. My tomato plant, I did transplant it into a bigger bucket earlier today, and it's thriving in there big time. I think it definitely likes the 5-gallon bucket. My cucumbers, I'm thinking maybe tomorrow I might transplant them into my other bucket, since none of my peppers came up. So it's gonna be weird doing 3 cucumber plants in one bucket, but I figure as long as I have a stake in each triangle section and run some string across it, they should be okay. I'm hoping the roots won't get overpowered by each other. It's just, I know the planter box they're in right now is not very deep, and it's got kind of the crappier soil in it. So I do want to put it in the better soil to give the roots a little better chance of surviving. Actually, I was looking at the middle plant of the three when I was out there today transplanting the other, and the leaves are looking kind of yellow on it. So I don't know if I'm going to lose that one, and that one has not yet produced a single flower. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping to get at least a couple cucumbers off the plants. But again, like you guys know, I've said that as long as I get one piece of produce, technically that's a success because I've never grown a vegetable garden before. But definitely some learning curves and such. And we'll see. Hopefully next year will be a better year for me. Anyways, guys, I've kept you long enough. Thank you for stopping by. Give me a thumbs up if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you tomorrow to announce the next head to toe winter knits voting options. And hopefully you guys will participate. And I'll explain all the information in it tomorrow. So if you're wondering what that is, definitely keep an eye out for that video. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.